To the war in Iran and growing questions about Trump's lack of strategy here and the growing risk of escalation. One Wall Street Journal columnist calling Trump's Iran strategy chaotic. Other conservative outlets are calling the war a quagmire and saying that Trump can't fool markets forever. Trump now raising eyebrows with new comments on Iranian oil and possible boots on the ground, telling the Financial Times, quote, maybe we take Kharg Island, maybe we don't. We have a lot of options. Trump told the FT it would also mean that we had to be there in Kharg Island for a while, adding, to be honest with you, my favorite thing is to take the oil in Iran, which is an odd threat considering just this weekend, Trump said that negotiations with the new regime have been reasonable.
We are negotiating with them directly and indirectly. Frankly, they've been very reasonable. So I think we've had regime change. I mean, you can't do much better than that.
Joining me now is Paul Rieckhoff, national security and political analyst, host of the Independent Americans podcast, and founder and CEO of Independent Veterans of America. Paul, it's great to see you again. So, I mean, how do you see this strategy right now? I mean, this is a president who on Sunday night, flying back to D.C., made those comments, wakes up Monday morning, says we're going to take oil, and threatens to obliterate all of Iran's oil energy. Where 12 hours earlier, maybe 24 hours earlier, he was saying they're reasonable, there's progress on the negotiations. And we have no insight as more troops begin to make their way into the region.
It's vintage Trump. I've called him President Mayhem, and mayhem is often the strategy. Whether or not he has a plan on the ground, we could debate. What's clear is he doesn't have control. The lid has been blown off on Iran now, and the countries in the region are being threatened. You know, people of all backgrounds are now outraged. Only 12% of our country supports this war, which is a historic low. I think the biggest part of his strategy that has failed is he sent the troops before he's rallied the country. And every time a president does that, every time you don't send the country, commit the country first, and then commit the troops, we get into disasters. And that's a situation where I think a really, really untold part of this story is what happens if this goes on and only 12% of the country supports it, only 5% of the country supports it. What does that mean for the support for our troops? Right? Americans have been good about separating the two, but the American military has been like the last bastion of respect and integrity in America. And Hegseth's blowing that apart every day with his culture war. You know, ICE and the National Guard in the streets have eroded that. And this has a real a potential to lower the trust, not just in America, but worldwide for American troops.
You brought up the issue of strategy, which is very important. I want to put it to you this way. The Economist is now showing how Iran is actually making a bit of money on behalf of Donald Trump's war here. Iran is now earning nearly twice as much from oil sales each day as it did before America and Israel began to bomb it on February 28th. It may be pummeled on the battlefield, but the regime is winning the energy war. Not to mention Americans are paying almost $1 more per gas. The price goes up. The Iranian Speaker of their parliament is trolling President Trump in the way he's trying to manipulate the stock market. It seems that Iran has the global economy by the chokehold right now.
I think that's right. And also, he just allowed Russian cargo ships to go into Cuba, right? So Russia's oil situation is improving as well. I think the bottom line is our enemies are celebrating. And you have to look not just at whether or not America is safer, but what does the global order look like? And right now, our enemies' positions are strengthened by the day. And the potential of a quagmire, the potential of boots on the ground has our enemies salivating. They would love to see America get dragged into another long, entrenched, drawn-out war that's unpopular back home. And the Chinese also are just sitting back, you know, rubbing their hands, waiting for us to punch ourselves out, not only there, but in the region. Iran is becoming a sucking chest wound, right, where we keep putting resources in, and that could go on for months and months. Boots on the ground is very important. I think Americans need to understand it's not just the boots on the ground that potentially are going in. 50,000 American troops are in the region, right, and they're all in harm's way. Rocket attacks, drone attacks are every single day, and that risk could go sideways at any moment, and then Trump's got a real problem on his hands. We have to ask him, what is the cost of war you're willing to accept? Is it a couple hundred Marines? Is it a couple thousand Marines? Is it more? And that's the question he hasn't answered.
Yeah, so I want to ask you from kind of a military perspective, the idea of just landing thousands of troops inside Iran, I mean, it sounds extremely dangerous because we're not even in Iran and American bases across the region are being hit. The radars are being hit. We've unfortunately lost 13 soldiers, hundreds more injured. So I can't imagine how much more that risk will be if American troops are landing under daily attack from somewhere like Kharg Island, which is just 15 miles off the coast of Iran, being hit every day with drones, artillery, what have you.
I think that's a really, really important issue. Taking Kharg Island could be militarily relatively easy.
Or symbolically because they take the oil with it.
But holding it and protecting the people who are there is going to be the hard part. We saw this in Iraq, right? Taking Baghdad was relatively easy. Right. Protecting our troops over a 10-year war from IED attacks and everything else in the insurgency was very, very difficult. And that's where the Iranians are happy to try to literally bleed us out. Let the American troops hold an area and hit them with drones, hit them with missiles, hit them with any other kind of insurgent attacks or proxy attacks, and bleed us out. They think America will quit. And if you look at our history over the years, that's true, right? The American public will lose support, Congress will lose support, and our troops will be stranded out here in what is a very, very dangerous and complex area that no American troops want to be in.